friends, it's Christy. Welcome to day 15 of my 2018 holiday card series. Today I'm going to be making a card using the Mama Elephant set Oh Kitty Tree, and I'm stamping that down with Memento Tuxedo Black ink on some Copic friendly cardstock, since I'll be coloring with my Copic markers today. Because this is such a large and detailed image, I decided to keep things simple and color all my cats in different shades of gray. So it would be really fun to color these in some fun and bright colors and do something really different, but I didn't want to get too clashy with all the different decorations as well, so I decided to go a more neutral route. I'm starting with W00 and W1, and I'm just picking out several of the cats to color at once. And I'm doing some really quick and simple shading today. I'm not going to get too fussy with it or make sure that I have perfect blends. And that's fine, because a little texture in the coloring is actually going to help them look furry. Then I'm going to bump up the color with the W3 and start coloring in all the tabby cats. So these are the ones that have the stripes down the center of their foreheads. And it can get real confusing with your light source when you've got a pile of animals like this where they would be casting shadows on each other. So I'm going to be simple with this as well and just do all my shading on the underside of their bodies. So under their faces, on the inside of their paws, and if their body is showing, I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow around their tails and on the underside of their legs. So I'll blend out that W3 with the W1, and then I'll fill in any space that remains with the W00. I'll add in the W5 and W7 to do the stripes on the tabbies' foreheads, and I'm using the W7 first up at the top because I want their head to look a little bit more rounded, so it's like a little shadow from the back of their head, and then I'll pull that down with the W5. I wanted to throw in a few black cats as well, since I used to have a black cat named Alex before I found out that I was allergic. So I'm going to use that W7 as my darkest shade, and then I'll pull that out with the W5, and I'll finish with the W3 for my lightest on those. And I'm going to pick a couple that are kind of far apart from each other so that I have the black cats kind of spread throughout the pile. To mix things up, I decided to add in some cool grays as well. So I'll be using C0, C1, C3, and C5. So on the lighter cats, I'm going to use the C1 as my darkest, and then I'll blend that out with the C0 and let that fade into white. Again, I'm picking cats that are not right next to each other so that I can spread the color around. And then my last two cats are going to be a darker gray, kind of a Russian blue, like my friend Carrie Webster, who is KW Card Design here on YouTube. She has a Russian blue cat named Gracie, and she used to have one named Katie, who sadly passed away. So I will actually have two Russian blues on my card to represent Katie and Gracie. And for those I used C5 as my shadow, C3 as my midtone, and C1 for the highlight. I used those same cool grays to color in the mouse, and now I'm using the RV14 to color in some of the cat's noses. The rest will be with the W7, and then a few of them will have both. For my reds, I'm paring it down to just two colors. I'm using the R29 and R39, and I'm going to color in the Santa hats and the ribbons on the gifts, and the little black cat down in the bottom right corner. I'm going to do a red and white scarf. For the Christmas ornaments, I'm going to use BG45 and BG49, and I'm going to be coloring in just the tops and bottoms with those. I'm doing all my shading on the right hand side and then blending toward the left. And for the centers of those, I'm using RV13, RV14 and RV17, starting with the RV17 again on the right hand side, blending toward the center with the RV14 and finishing with the RV13. The next combo that I'm using is YG05, YG07, and YG09, and I'm going to use those to color in the scarf of the white kitty over on the left hand side and also the Christmas gifts. And I thought maybe I would color that last gift differently, but I ended up going back and doing it exactly the same. For the stars, I didn't want to go yellow because there's no yellow in the pattern paper that I'm using, so I went with a yellow-green instead. So I use YG00 and YG01 to color in all of those. And finally, for the little bird on the left, I'm going to color that with BG11 and BG13. And then I'll trim this out with the matching die. For my background, I've got a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to take some tumbled glass distress ink and blend that in kind of an oval shape right in the center. I'll build up that color until it makes a nice glow behind the kitty stack when I set it on top, and then I'll trim that down with one of the Mama Elephant Pika frames. I'll pop that panel into my MISTI, and I'm going to stamp out my sentiment using MFT's Extreme Black Hybrid ink, and I'm using the one that comes in the O Kitty Tree stamp set that says "A Meowie Christmas to All." And then while I have my MISTI out, I'm also going to stamp on the inside of my card. I'm using Lawn Fawn's Plastic Flamingo ink to stamp out another one of the kitties from the O Kitty Tree set, and then a sentiment from Scripty Christmas. And I stamped that down twice to get a really good impression. I trimmed down my pattern paper from the Doodlebug Christmas Town 6x6 with another of the Mama Elephant Pika frames, and that's going to cover the entire card front. Then I've got a red and white stripe that's just going to be adhered down at the bottom. I'll grab my focal panel and peel off the release paper from the Scotch 3M foam tape that I added to the back just to give it a little lift, and I'll pop that down in the center of the card, and then I'll grab my kitty stack and add some more liquid glue to the back of that, and then adhere that down right above the sentiment. To finish off the card, I'm going to take my favorite crystal stickles and add some to a few of the different accessories. I'm doing all of the little stars, I'm doing the pink stripes on the ornaments and the red bows on the gifts. And then I also decided to add some into the background to kind of look like snow, so I'm just dabbing very lightly all over the top portion of the card. And that is going to complete our card for today. I'll lift that up to the light so you can see all the sparkle and shine and give you another peek at the inside. So I hope you guys have enjoyed day 15 of my 2018 holiday card series. We are winding down. I still have a few cards planned. But if you did enjoy it, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel. I'm still trying to hit that 20,000 before the end of 2018. Not sure if I'll make it, but I would love your support. If you'd like to keep watching, here's 2 videos from day 15 of the previous 2 years of holiday card series. And thank you so much again for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye-bye.